The Hobbit, the Battle of the Five Armies.
To
Botfer, as it's also known here. The final part of Peter Jackson's Hobbit extravaganza, starting in 2011 with An Unexpected Journey.
2012.
Whatever.
Yeah.
A 6 out of 10 film.
Yeah.
Desolation of Smaug, in my opinion, a 6 out of 10 film.
Yeah.
And we now reach the Battle of the Five Armies.
We reach to Botfer, the epic conclusion. Do you know what annoys me though about these films? People who review it for many things. People who review it and discuss it as if it's the end of a 13-year saga.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Yeah, people are now discussing this film as if it's part of Peter Jackson's plan making Lord of the Rings to make this film, rather than what it is, which is a cash-in kind of thing.
You see, I think
yeah.
they've stumbled across this as a marketing thing recently. They're like, oh my god, we could exploit people's memories of the original films and sell more tickets.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they've only just worked that out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah,
that's quite clever.
but this isn't the conclusion to an epic saga, it's the conclusion to a trilogy.
Yeah, the conclusion to the Hobbit
Yep.
series. Because if anything, this is just the extravagant closing to the middle.
Yeah, really.
Really.
Ain't this only about, like, the very, very last couple of chapters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get my handy copy out. Copy of The Hobbit. So, book 1. Sorry, should I say film 1? It's about that much. That's film 2.
God.
And then, oh god, this is an ancient copy. That's film 3.
Jesus, what's that, like 2 chapters?
Yeah, so it's the chapter where Smaug attacks the town.
Uh-huh.
The armies gather to have a battle.
And then they do battle.
Yeah. Then the battle. And then Bilbo goes home.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, we're dealing with very scant material here.
Very scant material. For anyone who is watching this but either hasn't seen the film or has heard nothing about it.
Because it's not out at the time of recording, it's not out yet in the States.
In the States, yes.
We got it early.
We got it early. We got it on December the 12th. You'll get it on December the 17th if you're an American. Yes. Basically, what happens in the film is, this isn't spoilers, the first 10 minutes Smaug gets killed, and then the 5 armies gather to try and attack the Iron Mountain to get the gold within.
Well, it's like, after Smaug's been killed, it's left almost like a power vacuum.
Yep.
And we'll get on to how Peter Jackson perceives this as being a little comment later. It leaves a power vacuum. The big races and forces of Middle-earth realise, wait, holy shit, a mountain with a shitload of treasure that's been guarded by an evil dragon for hundreds of years is now undefended.
Yeah.
So, 5 armies assemble.
Yep.
To claim it.
To claim it, yep.
And at the centre of this, we've got the deepening madness of Thorin Oakenshield, who contracts dragon sickness. Gandalf is being rescued by the forces of good from some dude called Sauron.
Legolas and L'Oreal have found out that some other orcs are assembling another army. That's yet another plot point.
And also a little hobbit.
Yeah. Oh wait, there's a hobbit in this film.
There's a hobbit, yeah. A little hobbit called Bilbo Baggins struggles...
As a cameo.
Yeah, struggles to get screen time.
Yeah.
He battles with the editors to get more screen time.
Yes.
That's one of the armies in the film.
Yes. There's also... well, there are so many plots in this, really, if you think about it. There's even the Bowman has his own arc.
Oh, Bard.
Bard has an arc, and
Bard.
So does his awful comic relief character, Alfred.
I like Alfred.
Yeah, he's okay the first time, but over time he gets annoying. Yeah. So, anyway, we'll get into that later. The first thing I think that's important about this film is that the first hour is great, I think.
I am liable to agree.
Yes.
I think the because when I found out they were going to kill Smaug off in the first 15 minutes, I was like, oh, okay. But it works really well. It's a really exciting pre-credit sequence. It's almost like a James Bond movie. Like with a pre-credit title sequence, it works really well. It's really exciting.
It is.
Visually, it's amazing. It's adventurous. It's heroic.
Yep.
I think finally, Bard has come into his own. He gets to do the famous scene from the book
where he kills him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, to be honest, they've built it up well.
Yeah.
I think it's better than in the book. Where in the book, he's just some guy.
Yeah.
Turns up and kills Smaug.
Yeah.
But it's dazzling, it's exciting, it shows off all the wonders of Peter Jackson's technology.
Visually it can't be faulted, really.
No. And Smaug looks as amazing as he does last year. He's still an amazing creation.
Yep.
I was very happy with the sequence. It's one of the best scenes they've directly adapted from the book.
Yeah. I would probably go as far as to say that maybe apart from the bit where Frodo meets Bilbo, where Frobo meets Gollum, it's probably the best scene in the whole trilogy.
Probably, yeah.
Because it's exciting, it's to the point,
which is quite ironic.
It's only 10 minutes. It achieves everything you would want from the film, like a thrilling roller coaster ride within 10 minutes.
Yeah, and then from there, we kind of get into almost like a sickly build up to the battle. But what's interesting is that it's the time when the kind of what they've been setting up and building up actually starts to pay off.
Yeah.
Thorin Oakenshield has finally become an interesting character.
Yep.
He's achieved his goal, but now he's descending into madness, and his actual goal is driving him insane. And he's alienating his dwarf chums and Bilbo.
Yeah.
And I think in that first hour there's enough Bilbo. You feel like Bilbo's kind of central.
Yeah, well, this is why I like the first hour. It has a theme and like these interrelationships. Basically, the first hour is about Bilbo has got the Arkenstone, and
which is what Thorin Oakenshield needs to prove his legitimacy.
He's king under the mountain.
Yeah, he needs it to prove it.
Yeah, so it's all about whether Bilbo's going to give it to him.
Because he's seeing Thorin descending into madness, and he thinks, well, if I give him this stone, I'm only going to hurt my friend more.
Yep. So you've got a really interesting tension there between what they're going to do. Builds up really well.
Yeah.
With all the armies coming in.
And then you've got the bizarre sequence where, almost like the Avengers, Galadriel and Saruman and Elrond turn up to save Gandalf from Sauron, and the redesigned ring rapes, which I thought looked really cool.
I thought that scene was great. I didn't really know what was happening, but
it was so weird and so bizarre, but it's kind of cool.
Peter Jackson just took acid and directed the first thing he saw.
So I ironically think the film kind of goes downhill after another really acid trippy scene where Thorin sinks into the
pit of that's great. That scene,
that is really good. Yeah. It works really well as a great visualization of Thorin's mind.
Yeah, his madness. Yeah.
But I like how they kind of. I felt like they weren't stretching the material out, even though it is about 4 chapters. I felt with this one it was definitely more direct.
Yeah, so did I.
I think there's a lot you can do with a power vacuum. And I said, so Smaug's gone now. Even though Smaug was evil, he was kind of keeping things in balance.
Yeah.
Take that away, the whole area falls into chaos.
Well, you could make political commentary.
Yes, you can. Yes, I was reading in the latest issue of Empire
that
Peter Jackson sees this almost as like commentary on Iraq. Saddam Hussein, an evil dictator for sure, but he was kind of keeping things in balance. You cut the head off the snake and the whole area descends into chaos. Outside forces vying for control, trying to take advantage of a region. And in the middle you've got a devastated population like the people of Lake Town.
Ah, very good.
See? It's all commentary. But it works for me.
I think
I think we make a pretty good comparison there.
Yeah.
I always think science fiction and fantasy should comment on
the
real world.
Should.
All the best ones do, I think. And maybe a little bit heavy-handed, but I kind of like it. It kind of works.
I think it's good that at least they're trying to do something.
They're trying to do something, yeah.
Again, a lot of the scenes that are good in the early ones are just bits that are in Lake Town when they're building up that population. A lot of the first hour, a good chunk of it focuses on them being unmoored, and then they end up fighting they team up with the elves to try and go into it. There's loads of really the best scenes in the film are just dialogue ones. I like there's a tense bit where Lee Pace's character, I don't know his name, Dad of Legolas, Thranduil, where he goes to the gate. And he's got the Arkenstone at this point, and then they're bartering, and it's quite tense. The music is great. It's all
Bilbo's done a thing where he's taken the Arkenstone. He concludes the only way to make Thorin back down is to give the stone to his enemies, and then he'll back down. and you got Thranduil there, and you've got Bard.
Yep.
And then Bilbo. And then you got a great moment when Bilbo thinks he's done a kind and noble thing.
Yeah.
And he thinks it's all going to work out for him, and then Thorin's like,
throw him over the thing.
Fuck did you do that for? Yeah, it's like, throw him over the side. And all the dwarves are like, no, I won't do it.
Richard Armitage, I thought, came into his own.
Yeah, I didn't
think he was very good in the first two, but he was great in this one.
I've always had a soft spot for Thorin.
Well, I thought he was too moody in the first two, but he actually has the kind of thing to chew on to get into it now.
Yeah.
He's moody now for actual purpose.
Yeah. You feel like it's kind of paid off.
Yeah.
I think. I think in terms of like how they've adapted the book, I think what they've done with Thorin is, I think maybe the best thing they've done, because in the book he's really old.
Yeah.
He's like an older guy, but in the movie make him like a young guy. I actually like the character arc they've set him on. I think it's worked really well.
Yeah.
So no, I love the first half. The first half's great.
The first hour is the best thing is the best of all the Hobbits. I would say.
I think there's individual sequences.
Yeah.
Maybe in previous two that outshine it.
Yeah, but I mean, as a
sustained piece, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that was what was good with the film.
Ironically, it all falls apart when the battle begins.
Yes. I find it ironic that what he's trying to say with the film, the main theme is about, greed being bad.
Yes.
And, trying to return home and things. Well, ironically, he hasn't returned home and he has gone into his own greed.
Yeah.
Like, his attempt with this, I assume, was to return back to the acclaim he had with The Lord of the Rings. The intervening years after Return of the King have not been kind to him.
Clearly not, no.
With King Kong Accepted, which got a modest reception, he's been just attacked constantly.
Yeah.
For his excess. But ironically, with the runtime of this film, he's gone greedy and destroyed his reputation in many ways.
Well, it's funny because the thing I was most looking forward to about because I wasn't even thinking, I don't know. I had no expectations. Maybe that's why I really enjoyed the first hour.
Yeah.
But the battle wasn't big enough for me.
No.
It wasn't bombastic enough.
No.
Which is crazy, I realise, because it is huge, and I guess it is quite visually impressive.
Uh-huh.
But I was left a bit underwhelmed by it, personally, even though, because it is like the big selling point of this final movie.
Yeah.
It's called the Battle of the Five Armies. I was a bit disappointed by it.
Yeah.
Even though it's maybe the centrepiece, and I get the feeling that Peter Jackson was trying to like outdo Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
Because ironically, one of the things he said about The Hobbit making the movies was, and this is the reason why he hired Del Toro in the first place, was he didn't feel like he wanted to outdo himself.
Yeah.
Because just because he was a different filmmaker back then, and ironically, he's tried to do exactly that. He's tried to outdo Minas Tirith. He's tried to outdo Helm's Deep. All the difference with those battles is that you actually kind of cared about the characters.
Yeah.
I don't care if you cut to a shot of Dwarf 8.
Yeah.
Or Billy Connolly riding a pig.
Yeah.
As fun as that character is, it's just a bit like, well, yeah. I don't care. I'm not invested.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that for all his faults, he's a good director of action in the term that, bad action scenes are directed like that. Mm. Yeah, and you've got no geography of the scene, you don't really understand what's going on. This one, he just puts all the effort in to show you where everyone is. Yeah. So the elves are here, the dwarves are in the kingdom there, they're coming down here, the orcs are over there, you know where everything is.
You got a very clear view of the battle.
Yeah, so you can follow everything, but then he ruins it by, the worst shot in the film, I think, is where the camera glides from all the elves back to the dwarves there, and then all the elves look exactly the same because they're CGI.
Like some computer animator, like some intern was paid to click copy and pasting. Yeah.
But doesn't that just take you out of the film?
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
The reason you care in Lord of the Rings, in a way, about those big battles is because they're well shot and they're well done and everything.
They feel real.
You can tell everyone looks different because they are different. They're all extras.
Well, also just like in Lord of the Rings, he quite cleverly. Obviously, you care about the characters ultimately.
Yeah.
But also, he quite cleverly, especially the Battle of Helm's Deep, he intercuts it with shots of screaming women and children, crying and looking scared, and I've only got Aragorn looking heroic. You're like, oh my god, he's fighting for these people. Ultimately, the battle's a bit shallow because essentially they're fighting over gold.